Welcome, Rogues! This video is part of a series of videos that will help you understand some musical concept and to use that knowledge in other videos about analysis of famous pieces of classical music. They are aimed at people who are not musicians but want to learn about classical music in a clear way so they can enjoy it even more than they already did. Or who knows, maybe getting someone to like it. I'll concentrate more in the 18th and 19th centuries, or to give you some names, from Johann Sebastian Bach to Claude Debussy, since many people know the music of these periods, or at least can recognize something if they hear it. The subject of this video is rhythm. So let's get into it. Generally speaking, rhythm is an order in the succession of things. It is a controlled or calculated movement that is produced by the ordering of different elements. What? That definition might be a little confusing for a beginner, but don't worry, here's another one. Rhythm can also be defined as the harmonious combination of sounds, voices, or words, including the pauses, silences, and cuts necessary to make it pleasant to the senses. The arts, therefore, have rhythm as one of their main characteristics. Literature, both narrative and poetry, has its rhythm in the choice of words and the balance of sentences. For example, a succession of words with long syllables and long sentences makes the work have a slow rhythm. In the case of music, the rhythm is the ratio between the time of one movement and that of a different one. Before the example, we need to know the signs we are going to use in it. So these are some of the rhythmic figures in music. They don't represent any note by themselves. You know, do, re, mi, fa, sol. They are only graphical representation of the duration of the notes. But why there are so many? Everything has an explanation. We are going to start with the largest rhythmic value here. This is a whole. If you know something about music, you probably know that the value of this figure is 4 beats, but this time I suggest you leave aside that, since I'm going to explain that is not always the case. In another video maybe. Anyway, the whole can be divided into 2 equal parts. This figure is called half, because you saw that comes from the whole, and it's the exact half of it. Then we continue dividing. The half gives you 2 equal parts called quarters. By this moment, you might be seeing that a quarter is called like that because it is 1/4 part of a whole. Simple math, right? Keeping that relation in mind will make you read music faster. If you continue and divide the quarter, you will get, you guessed it, 2 equal parts called eighths. And if you continue dividing, you will get 16ths. You can continue dividing to get 128 figures, but we will stick to these ones. Another thing we need to know is the time signature. This is a time signature. Yeah, it looks like a fraction, because it is. You write it at the beginning of the staff, after the key and the key signature. I will tell you what a staff is in a moment, but as for key and key signature, well, that's for another day. Maybe you have seen this number in a music score and ask yourself, fractions? Here? In my beautiful Chopin nocturne? Yes, music is mathematics to some extent, but don't expect some differentials along the piece. This number is very important because it tells you how the rhythm is going to be distributed. Can you guess how? In case you don't remember your math lessons, the numerator gives you the how many, and the denominator gives you the of which. So as the definition said, you put that fraction at the beginning of the staff. This is the staff. For the moment, we don't need a definition. You only need to know it is this. So, if we put that number at the beginning of our score, you will know how many beats to count and the duration of those beats. But now that takes us to the question, what is a beat? Beat is a constant succession of pulsations that are repeated, dividing the time in equal parts. Trust me, this concept is better assimilated by practicing it. So let's give it a try. Just by hearing that beat, you can know the duration of the figures. Right now, it's at 60 beats per minute, or 60 BPM for short. Now, the long-awaited example. Remember I mentioned stuff? This is where you put all the music signs to make, well, music. You can put as many staffs as you need, but right now, we only need one. At the beginning of the staff, we put the time signature, and just because we mentioned the key, we put the key. But remember, we are not using the name of the notes yet. There is another thing to know about the staffs. If we are going to write all the signs in it, how can we prevent chaos from happening? Don't panic. Breathe. For that, we have a simple solution. Watch here. See that? That line is a line bar, and it divided our staff. So now we have two parts. But what are these parts? This is a bar, or measure, and this one too. So each of these boxes is a bar, and they help us with the distribution of the music signs. You can put more bars, but it is preferable to have a good spacing to have a clear music writing. Back to our time signature. Remember, numerator gives you the how many, and the denominator gives you the of which. This time signature is very common, and it means there is going to be 4 quarters in each bar. And guess what? In this time signature, every quarter is 1 beat. So when hearing the pulse, we can now count like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So far so good? As you can see, you cannot write more than the fraction tells you, nor less. In this case, only 4 quarters in each bar, or 2 halves, or a whole, or any combination you want, as long as you don't exceed the total of 4 quarters. Now, this is how you read the rhythm. We put the beat, and by the way, the instrument that produces the sound, it's called metronome. We are going to count 1 measure to have the pulse ready, and then start. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. Did you make it? Want to try again? Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. Better? You can always rewind the video to try as many times as you want. Let's do a different rhythm. Now, check this one. Remember, 1 half is 2 quarters, which means the duration of each half is 2 beats. I'll give you the example so you know how to do it. Same as before, 1 measure to grab the pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba, ba. Now, it's your turn. Try it. You can rewind to practice again. Now, the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum. Come on, you can do it. Give it a go. Still with me? I think you're getting good at it. Let's raise the difficulty. Another thing I should mention, when you have to say more than a pa in a beat, you need to divide the pulse. You can see in the image the beat level, in which we have practiced some exercises. The multiple levels are not hard, but the division levels are something else. To do that, you need to make the count like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Did you get it? Now, the exercise. Follow my lead. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and pa, 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 pa. I bet you're doing great, and if not, don't worry, It is all about practice. It will get easier every time you do it. Trust me. Now, try this one. You may be wondering, what the heck is that? It is a rest. This sign represents a silence. Don't be afraid, I'm going to show you the silence signs. These are the rests. Each of the rhythm signs has a rest counterpart. And of course, that counterpart has the same duration, but as a silence. When writing, even if you don't put any notes in the measure, you need to fill the space with rests, like this, or notes and rests. So, back to the example. Let's give it a try. I will go first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba, ba, ba. So far so good? I hope so. Now let's try one with division. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and ba, ba, ba. Did you get it? I need to count the division to land those 8 rests. After that, you just need to experiment with combination of figures to get used to it. If you're wondering why these are like this, it's just for reading comfort. It's better than reading it like this. Once you get the hang of it, if you ever decide to learn to play an instrument, you will have half the battle won. I think that's enough for today, although there is more to discover on this topic. Maybe in another video. So basically, that's rhythm, musically speaking. If you have any question or suggestion, you can leave it in the comments section below. I will really appreciate if you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to continue making videos like this. I upload gaming and music content, and sometimes both of them, game music. So feel free to check out. And by the way, thank you so much for watching. Take care, rogues. See you in the next video.